The story around As Ever and its collaboration with Netflix has been circulating across entertainment media lately, and like many stories connected to Meghan Markle, it has quickly become the centre of speculation, commentary and strong opinions. But when you take a step back and look at the facts rather than the headlines, the situation actually tells a very different story, one that highlights Meghan's independence, her entrepreneurial instincts, and her ability to evolve creatively beyond any single platform. For years now, Meghan has been the subject of intense scrutiny, often far beyond what most public figures experience. Since she and her husband, Prince Harry, stepped back from their senior roles within British royal family in 2020, the couple has been navigating a new chapter of life, one that prioritises personal freedom, creative storytelling, and meaningful projects that reflect their values. That decision was controversial at the time, but it also opened the door for them to build a completely new path outside the traditional royal system. One of the biggest moves they made during that transition was signing a major production deal with Netflix, reportedly worth around $100 million. The agreement was meant to allow them to produce documentaries, series, and other content that could reach a global audience. For Meghan, it was also an opportunity to combine storytelling with her long-standing interest in lifestyle, culture, and everyday inspiration. That vision eventually took shape through the lifestyle series With Love, Meghan, a show centered on celebrating simple, meaningful moments in daily life. The concept aligned closely with Meghan's personal philosophy, finding beauty in small details, encouraging people to connect with their homes and communities, and reminding audiences that joy often exists in the ordinary. When the show premiered, it reflected a side of Meghan that long-time followers had already seen years earlier when she ran her lifestyle blog, The Tig. Before becoming a member of the royal family, Meghan had built a loyal audience through that platform, sharing travel stories, food recommendations, wellness insights, and reflections on personal growth. The blog showed her ability to connect with readers in an authentic and relatable way. So in many ways, With Love, Meghan wasn't something completely new. It was actually a continuation of a passion she had developed long before royal titles ever entered the picture. The show simply gave her a new platform to explore those ideas visually and creatively. Alongside the show came the creation of the lifestyle brand As Ever. The brand was designed to capture the same spirit as the series, celebrating thoughtful living, beautiful everyday experiences, and products that elevate simple moments at home. According to those involved in the project, the collaboration between the brand and Netflix was always intended to help launch the concept and introduce it to audiences. But like many creative partnerships in the entertainment industry, these collaborations evolve over time. When reports surfaced that the partnership around the brand had come to an end following the conclusion of With Love, Meghan, some outlets immediately framed it as a setback. Yet the details revealed something much more practical and actually quite common in the world of media and business. An industry source explained that once the show stopped moving forward toward a third season, the original structure of the partnership simply no longer made sense. The collaboration had been tied to the programme's momentum, and when the show reached its natural pause point, the arrangement around the brand naturally shifted as well. Importantly, a spokesperson from Netflix described the collaboration in very positive terms. They acknowledged that Meghan's passion for elevating everyday moments inspired the creation of the brand and said they were glad to have played a role in bringing that vision to life. That statement alone contradicts the dramatic narrative that some commentators tried to push. The spokesperson also made something very clear. The brand had always been intended to eventually stand on its own. In other words, independence was part of the original plan. For Meghan, that independence may actually represent the most exciting phase yet. Running a lifestyle brand without being tied directly to a streaming platform allows her far greater creative freedom. She can explore new ideas, develop products, and shape the brand's direction without the constraints of a television schedule or a production contract. Entrepreneurially speaking, this is often the natural progression for lifestyle ventures. Many successful brands begin with media exposure, whether through television, blogs, or social media, before transitioning into standalone businesses that grow beyond their original platforms. Meghan has already demonstrated that she understands this dynamic well. Even before her acting career on Suits brought her international recognition, she was building skills in storytelling, branding, and community engagement. Her background gave her a unique combination of entertainment experience and entrepreneurial curiosity. That combination became especially visible when she and Harry released the documentary series Harry and Meghan in 2022. The project quickly became one of Netflix's most watched releases at the time, drawing global attention and sparking widespread discussion about the couple's experiences within the royal system. The documentary was significant not just for its viewership numbers, but also because it allowed Harry and Meghan to share their story in their own words. For years, narratives about them had been shaped largely by outside voices, tabloids, commentators and critics. The series provided an opportunity to present their perspective directly to audiences around the world, and audiences clearly responded. The show ranked among the platform's biggest releases and generated massive conversation online and in the media. It proved that there was strong public interest in content created by the couple when it centered on authenticity and personal storytelling. Of course, not every project will reach the same level of attention. That is true for any creative partnership, even those involving major stars and major platforms. Some productions resonate more strongly with audiences than others, and the entertainment industry constantly adapts based on those results. Later projects connected to the couple, such as the documentary Polo and Meghan's lifestyle programming, received more modest attention. But that is hardly unusual. Streaming platforms release hundreds of shows each year, and only a fraction become massive hits. What matters more is the long-term trajectory of the creators involved. In Meghan's case, the transition of As Ever into an independent brand signals that her focus is shifting toward building something sustainable beyond television. This move could actually strengthen the brand's identity. Without being directly tied to a single show, As Ever can grow through partnerships, product launches, and digital platforms in ways that reach audiences who may never have watched the series. Another interesting detail from industry insiders is that the door remains open for future specials of With Love, Meghan to appear on Netflix. That possibility suggests that the relationship between Meghan and the platform remains positive, even if the structure of their collaboration has evolved. Meanwhile, the broader partnership between the Sussexes and Netflix continues on a smaller but still active scale. Projects currently in development include adaptations of popular novels such as Meet Me at the Lake and The Wedding Date. These adaptations show that the couple is still involved in storytelling projects that appeal to mainstream audiences. For Meghan, this stage of her career reflects something many entrepreneurs eventually experience: the transition from launching ideas to refining them. Early experiments lead to lessons, and those lessons shape the next phase of growth. Critics often overlook this reality when discussing her projects. Instead of recognizing the normal evolution of creative ventures, they sometimes rush to frame every shift as a failure. Yet anyone familiar with media or business understands that partnerships change, formats evolve, and brands adapt. In fact, the ability to pivot is often the hallmark of successful entrepreneurs. Meghan has demonstrated that quality repeatedly, from closing her blog when she joined the royal family, to stepping away from acting to support royal duties, to later reinventing her career entirely after leaving that system. Each chapter has required resilience and adaptability. Few public figures have navigated such dramatic shifts under such intense public scrutiny. Another reason the independence of As Ever matters is that it allows Meghan to return to something she has always emphasized: authenticity. Lifestyle brands thrive when they reflect the genuine interests and experiences of their founders. Meghan's focus on thoughtful living, hospitality, and mindful routines fits naturally within that space. Her public image has often been shaped by headlines about royal drama, but those who followed her before that period know that her interests have long centered on community, creativity, and everyday joy. The new phase of her brand gives her the opportunity to highlight those interests without distraction. It also allows her to engage directly with audiences who appreciate that perspective. Lifestyle brands are ultimately about connection, about helping people feel inspired in their own homes and lives. That type of relationship doesn't depend on television ratings or streaming contracts. Meanwhile, Harry continues pursuing his own initiatives through projects focused on veterans, mental health and philanthropy. Together, the couple has tried to build a portfolio of work that reflects both their personal passions and their broader mission of positive impact. Their journey since leaving the royal family has not been simple. They have faced criticism, skepticism, and constant media attention. Yet they have also built new opportunities, launched global conversations about mental health and media accountability, and explored creative ventures that might never have been possible within the constraints of royal life. The evolution of Meghan's brand is just another example of that ongoing journey. Rather than representing an ending, it marks a new beginning, a chance to shape the next phase of her career on her own terms. In the fast-moving world of entertainment and business, change is inevitable. Shows come and go, partnerships shift, and strategies evolve. But the underlying vision often remains the same. For Meghan, that vision appears to revolve around celebrating life's simple pleasures, encouraging thoughtful living, and creating projects that bring people together in positive ways. Whether through television, books, podcasts, or lifestyle products, those themes continue to guide her work. As Ever moves forward independently, it will be interesting to see how the brand grows and what new ideas emerge from Meghan's creative process. If her past projects are any indication, the next chapter will likely combine storytelling, inspiration, and entrepreneurship in ways that reflect her unique perspective. And in many ways, that independence might be the most fitting outcome of all. After years of navigating institutions, expectations, and intense public narratives, Meghan now has the opportunity to build something entirely her own, something shaped not by tradition or protocol, but by creativity, passion, and personal vision. For audiences who have followed her journey from actress to duchess to entrepreneur, the evolution of her brand represents more than just a business decision. It represents the continuing story of a woman determined to define her own path, no matter how many headlines attempt to define it for her. If anything, the end of the partnership with Netflix around the brand simply marks the closing of one chapter. The story itself is still unfolding, and judging by Meghan's track record of reinvention, the next chapter may turn out to be the most interesting one yet.